just to begin with, just at a high level, can you tell me the different areas that you use data in at Tesco?
Sure. So before I get into data at Tesco, I'll probably talk about Tesco a little bit. It's a European retailer. So for the global audience, Tesco is a 100-plus-year-old company, which means that there's a rich heritage in terms of how we run retail. But what's more interesting is Tesco has always been in the forefront of trying or innovating something with data. Just to give you a couple of examples, 30 years ago, 1995, Tesco was probably the first retailer to introduce a program called loyalty to the industry, which is called Clubcard program, which meant that 30 years ago, there was a foresight that if we could get our customers to engage with us through the loyalty program, we could understand them better and we could personalize the experiences for them better. I'm talking about 1995, much before a lot of the concepts were set in. The other example that I can talk about is Tesco is also one of the first retailers to get into food retail, pure food online retail. We all know that now it's a booming business. It's a food for now and food for tonight, and all of that is a big concept right now. But again, 20 years ago, Tesco had the view that eventually food is going to become an online business. And Tesco is probably the first business to reach £1 billion in revenue for food retail. And right now we do about £6.5 billion in pure food online. So the reason I wanted to share this is to say that Tesco, well, it's a 100-year-old company. It's a company that is constantly trying to innovate using data and data-led propositions. So with that backdrop, what you now have is a business which is connected with customers through our loyalty program, which means that we get to understand what our customers think, feel, do with us in a very granular detail. We roughly have 22, 23 million customers who are on Clubcard. We have 16, 17 million active app users who use our apps and sort of interact with us. So there's a very rich understanding of customers in our business, which basically leads to our marketing propositions, helps us in pricing, promotions, a lot of how do we plan our trade and how do we compete with our competitors. But what's also very interesting is something that you don't see above the hood with Tesco is this tremendous amount of data science analytics that gets used in our finance as an area, and our people and colleague as an area, in how we manage cost, suppliers, how we run our supply chain. I think what really gets seen outside is all the cool things about customers and the experience that we create for customers. But what is the X factor, if you ask me, is all the things that happen beneath the hood. My team helps in sort of navigating through all of these problems and creating opportunities for the business.
So we've got a Clubcard program for customer loyalty. We've got online food retail and using it in finance. So these are kind of important areas. I'm curious as to how this feeds into business goals. So, for example, you mentioned with the loyalty program that it's all about finding out more about your customers. How does that sort of have an impact on the business?
There's a strategic side to it, and then there's an implementation side to it. If you look at Tesco's purpose and strategy, our purpose is to help our customers, colleagues, and the planet a little better every day. It's a very humble but a very powerful purpose. And therefore, we have taken this purpose and we have created strategic programs or themes around it. So one is around how do we make our customers love our Clubcard program a lot more. It's called I Love My Tesco Clubcard. It's a very customer-centric statement. It's as if the customer is saying that I love my Tesco Clubcard. Second one is on magnetic value. This is all about creating value propositions around price, promo, quality. Third is easily the most convenient, which is all your channels coming together to create a seamless experience. And fourth is the save to invest. As a retailer, retail is a very thin margin business, especially food retail, which means that if you have to innovate on the first three strategic programs, we have to make sure that we are constantly improving and we're driving efficiencies in our business and putting the money back into strategic investment areas. So these are the four strategic programs. So this is the strategic side, and therefore data gets used in all these four programs, which eventually leads to the purpose of helping and serving our customers, colleagues, and planet a little better every day. Under each of these programs, there are strategic initiatives that are analytics or data-led. For example, pricing as an area. It's a big transformation program to make pricing sharper, more personalized, more localized, as an example. But this is more of a 5-year journey. What is more operational in nature is what does it mean on a year-by-year basis. What we then do is every country, just so you know, we operate in 6, 7 countries. If you include India, where we have a joint venture, it's 7 countries. What we try and do is make sure that we understand the commercial and the business plan of that market every year for the next 2 to 3 years. And then we come up with a second level detail of how analytics can contribute to the sales improvement, to the margin improvement, to the cash improvement. And this sits as an overlay in the business plan. For example, if there's a market where we want to grow our market share by, say, 50, 60 basis points, there are many teams that need to come together. But fundamentally, you need analytics and science to say, how are we going to compete? Which areas are we going to grow in? How much of investments are we going to put in there for what returns? And therefore, the forecasting, the planning, the predictions, the reaching out to customers, the fighting the competition, all of that becomes an analytics work plan, which then sits very seamlessly in the first year, second year, third year of the plan that the business has created. Which means that there are strategic intentions, but the way it lands is as an overlay into the business commitments, which I feel, as the person who's leading the analytics team at Tesco, I feel tremendously proud that we have a direct connection to what's in the business. It's not an optional sort of capability. It's a very integrated capability into our business planning and business delivery.